Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Can you please tell me your name and where did you used to live?
My name is Mohammed Salim. I'm from Kenya, that is in East Africa, where I was born. And then I came down here with my wife, and some 8 years ago, she was suffering from breast cancer. And then she was admitted in the hospital here. The government has been very good. They treated her, and after some time she passed. And then we buried her here in Rochdale. And then I came to live with my daughter.
I'm really sorry, Uncle G, that Auntie had to leave us. I hope she's at peace now and inshallah in a better place.
Yeah.
Uncle G, can we just go back to your childhood and tell me which part of Africa in Kenya did you live and who did you live with?
Yeah. First of all, I was born in Kisumu, where from my parents had come from India, and they settled in Kisumu, where I was born. And then my dad was in service, and then we moved to Mombasa.
How long did you live in Kisumu for?
Kisumu, we were just 8 years old. I was 8 years old, and I had 4 other siblings. That means my brother and 3 sisters. Then we were all together 5, and then we moved down to Mombasa and stayed there quite a lot. I had my education in Mombasa. That is in a very famous high school, which is called Alidina Visram High School, which was built by an Asian pioneer who had come, and he was doing business in Mombasa. And then from there, after doing senior Cambridge, I joined Kenya Police.
MashaAllah. I just want to ask you a little bit more about your brothers and sisters. Are you the eldest or the youngest or in the middle?
Yeah. Now, my brother, who is called Shamim Ahmed, he is presently settled in Rochdale too, married to Razia Shamim. And then I have 3 sisters younger than me. They all married and moved to Pakistan, where from one died and 2 are still in Pakistan. Yeah.
You said your parents came from India.
Yeah.
Hindustan at the time?
Yeah, Pakistan was not made at that time, you know. They came in 1914.
Why did they move from Hindustan to East Africa?
Now, my father was looking for a job. So there were many people from my parents' area who had moved earlier to Kenya, and they were working here in Kenya. So my father also came down to Kenya, and join the services.
What services?
He was in a department called PWD, that Public Works Department, doing the public works. And then he was transferred to Mombasa, where we all followed.
In Kisumu, did you go to school there?
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember. I was too young. Maybe I was in nursery or first or second class, but I remember in Mombasa.
Let's go to Mombasa now. What can you tell me about life in Mombasa, Uncle G?
Mombasa is a very good place. Now, you know, in Mombasa, we had a majority of Muslims, Arabs, Swahilis, and other sections of Islamic faith. And we did, and we had quite a joyful life in Mombasa.
You mentioned you went to quite a famous primary school. Which one was that again?
Primary school in Mombasa. Yeah, Mombasa, the British government used to run the primary schools at that time, because Kenya was not independent. It was under the British. It was a British colony. So the British people had established schools at that time, and I was in the primary school. And later I went to this Ali Jinnah Visram High School.
What was your favourite subject at school?
Pardon?
What was your favourite subject at school?
Was?
Favourite subject?
Oh, subject. Oh, yes. Subject. You know, the thing is English. English is the main subject. English, mathematics, geography, history. Yeah, that's the thing. And we the Asian communities, we don't study the African language. We studied English, you know. We opted for the English. Yeah. And after, as I said, doing this senior Cambridge, I accompanied my father in his job as a plumber, because he was a public, he was from public work department. After his retirement, he opened a plumbing shop, and I used to work with him for a short while.
How old was you then? Can you remember?
Yeah, I was about 15 years old. And then about sometimes I applied for Kenya police job, and I was accepted. The police was run by ex-army British soldiers at that time, and they took me to a police training school.
What can you remember about the police training school?
Oh, wow, I remember. You know, the thing is, I had a load of bedding with me, and I was alone in the train. That means in my section, and then we went to Nehri in the train, and I remember I thought somebody would come and help me with my bedding, but we were shouted at, and I had to pick my own luggage, put it in the lorry, and then get a lift at the rear of the lorry and be driven to a place called Kiganjo, which is near to Neri, where the training school was. It was a big training school. Now, I was not the only one in my class. We were 15 to 20 mixed Asians and Africans students, and were under the charge of a British officer, and then we had to do the training, armed training, marching, schooling, studies, and then after that we had passing out parade, and I passed out, and my first posting was to Malindi,
Mashallah.
which is neighbouring Mombasa.
How old was you when you joined the police training school?
I was 30 years old.
So from the age of 15 to 30, what was you doing? Was you being a plumber?
I was doing. I may be forgetting.
Okay.
I was about 30. I was 30 years when I joined the police, And then.
What did you do before that besides plumbing?
Nothing, studying.
Mm-hmm. Before you decided to go to Pakistan, you said you managed to get your diploma in policing. What happened?
I had joined the police at that time, and they went to Pakistan,
okay,
leaving me behind. I was a bachelor. I was in police, and then I was. I then was serving all over the place in Kenya. Mostly I have worked in police on the coastline. I haven't been inside. I haven't been to Nairobi in police. No, I was mostly in the coastal belt. And then after some times, I got fed up with the police job also, because during the independence, there was a lot of corruption which has corrupted which has come in, and then I thought I won't stay in the police any longer. I had a friend of mine, a Hindu, Gujarati, and I was with him in Mombasa, and we decided that I leave the job and then move to Nairobi and open up a business.
How old was you when you moved to Nairobi?
Oh, I was. I don't know. I don't remember. I was married at that time.
How long was you a police officer for?
I worked for 18 years in police.
And policing can be very dangerous, especially in different countries. Did you ever come across anything dangerous?
Yeah, there is plenty of dangerous things.
Can you share one of your stories about it?
No, I didn't meet any dangerous thing.
That's good.
Yeah, of course, we have to move out and make arrests. And that's the thing. Now, moreover, I want to emphasize on the British police officers. They were very good. Very, very good. I still remember them, but I don't know where they are now. You know, they were very hardworking, and I did enjoy working with them.
What do you have there, Uncle G?
This is a shield.
Yeah? What's the shield for?
Have you got it?
Tell me about this shield.
This is a Kenya police shield. Yeah.
Why did you
This is
have
as
this
a
awarded?
remembrance. I got it from there. You see, and ever since I have kept it with me, you know.
You must be very proud of it.
Yes, I am.
And your family as well must be very proud of what you've achieved.
Yes, I am proud of it.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. What did you used to do in your spare time?
Spare time? Yeah, I used to go about with the other boys, play about, run about. That's all.
Did you have any family outings?
Yeah, family outing.
Where did you used to go?
Yeah, we used to. Mombasa is a port city. It is on the port. We used to go about walking with my father. He used to take us out, you know, and we sometimes used to go to Bamburi for swimming. You know, enjoyed it very much with other people. And that's the time we whiled and spent a good time before I joined.
Uncle G, what do you remember the most about your childhood?
I don't remember. I remember. Yeah. Yeah, irresponsible people. You have no responsibility of anything, you know. Everything was left over to the parents. That's nothing. I don't remember anything. Yeah.
And now you're in what did you used to do in your spare time?
Where?
In Africa.
Yeah, we were attached to the home, and of course the parties, you know, the youngsters would join together in the evenings and play sports and that's play sports and nothing else, or go to visit places around, you know. Yeah.
Uncle G, what was your mum like?
What was I?
What was your mother like?
Mother, she was a very nice woman.
What was her name?
Rashida.
And what was your dad's name?
My dad's name was Ilamdeen. After 1963, when the people got independence, the Africans, so it was a fear among Asian people who are living there that we will be mistreated when these people achieve the independence. So my parents decided that they moved to Pakistan. And they moved. They went away to Pakistan. Yeah.
You mentioned that your mum and dad went back to Pakistan.
Yeah.
Or was it still Hindustan
No,
at the
no,
time?
it was Pakistan.
What part of Pakistan did they go back to?
Saiwan.
And did you still manage to have any contact with them?
Yeah. I went twice or thrice to Pakistan to meet them and stayed there with them.
How did you feel it was different compared to Africa?
You know, I didn't like very much Pakistan at that time because it was coming up, and I thought Kenya is Kenya. I better go back to Kenya. And then I came back to Kenya, and although they suggested that I stay there, no, I said no, I don't want to stay here. I'll go back to Kenya.
And what about your siblings? Did they stay with your parents or did they stay?
No, my own family, the siblings, you know, my sisters, as I earlier mentioned, they stayed in Pakistan and they got eventually married and settled. And my daughters, they were in Kenya, and they stayed with me in Kenya.
What obstacles did you come across when, after the independence happened?
You know, let me make a statement here that when corruption came in, these officers, which were of course the Africans now, they would transfer me to various places with my children. They were young girls, you know, after 6 months, after a year, when they find that I don't cooperate with them, they just move me out, you know, to other places. I had to go out, look for schools and housing them with my wife, and then I got, after all, I got fed up, and then I left the job. You know, I was happy to leave the job.
And then you said you moved to Nairobi with one of your friends and your children.
Yeah, I left, yeah, and then we got a shop in Racecourse Road in Nairobi and opened a hardware shop where from we used to sell nails, iron rods, cement, and then sheeting and various other hardware items, you know. Yeah. Then my friend, after working for about 10 to 15 years with me, he then suddenly said that I don't feel now that I stay with my family here any longer, because, you know, people of Asian origin, the more time they spent there, they got fearsome that they will be mistreated. So they decided to move to Canada. He said, I'm moving to Canada, and I can't take you with me, so you stay here. I then stayed there for quite little, and then we sold the shop, and then joined a nearby mosque as a supervisor, you know, looking after the mosque. And while my time there, and then
we're going to talk, if it's okay with you. I don't want to upset you, but I just want to ask you about married life.
About
married life. At which age did you get married?
married life, I don't remember. What year did I get married? Was it 65?
67.
67, yeah.
66, 67.
Yeah, I got married.
And was Auntie G from Pakistan?
Yeah,
Africa?
Auntie G was from Pakistan.
How did you meet? How did it happen?
That is another story. Now, you know, it is my mind. I lose count, you know. My brother, after having married Razia Shamim in Pakistan, I happened to meet their mother there. And then I got interested in her and then got married to her. Yeah.
My mother was Razia's sister, so that's how it happened.
Razia Shamim, Razia's younger sister, you know.
And then you moved back to
Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah. And I had quite a long time.
How many children did you have, mashallah?
I had 3 daughters. Now one is her, the other one is in Leicester. The other one is in Toronto,
Mashallah.
Canada. I visited her 2 times, Toronto, where I have many friends, old friends from Kisumu, and this ex-partner of mine from Nairobi hardware shop, he's also in Toronto. And he used to take me down to his house, and I used to stay with him, and we had talks about Kenya, you know. That's all, yeah. My wife, you know, she got sick, and there was no good medication. So we moved to Britain here, and then she was admitted in hospital, stayed there. After some time she passed, you know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm alone here now. Before this COVID, Corona, you call them Corona.
Yes.
I was member of the mosque here, Adara Mosque, and I used to walk to Adara Mosque for prayers, you know, and Friday particularly I used to go there. And for the past 6 months, you know, because of this Corona, because of lockdown, I'm just confined to the house. I don't move out, I don't go out. I just stay. That's all.
We're just gonna, Uncle G, inshallah, Corona won't be here forever.
Yeah.
And we will, when it's nice and safe, we will get to go back out and visit the places that we like to visit.
Yeah, of course.
And inshallah, pray where we like to pray.
The thing is now, with my present age, you know, I'm becoming weak. I can't walk. So most of the time I just stay at home. You know, I'm interested in internet, and I have got a iPad here And I spend my time on an iPad mostly, and the time which I have, then I pray and I read Quran. That's what I do.
You keep yourself busy. Uncle G, you was one of the few that decided to stay in Africa after the independence. What difference did you see happen?
The difference, is mistrust. Not only me, is the Asian community who had mistrust, and eventually they are told to go away. Now I had a British passport. Now the work time I had with the police. In the very beginning, I was pointed out, either I have a British passport and go away, or I have to have the Kenya passport. When I was working in the police, I thought that I had no other place to go to. So I eventually decided to have a Kenya passport. And my British passport was cancelled. So, and eventually, as you also note, that there was a mass movement of Asian community from Uganda, who then were agreed upon by British people to have them settled here. They brought them here. And then the mistrust, expanded it. Now the thing is that they won't give a promotion to a person who was not African. It was only the Africans who are given promotion. And now in business, in licenses, everything, they came first. And the Asians were being left behind, the mistrust increased. So everybody thought of leaving eventually. There are very few people of Asian origin who is left over now. And they have almost all moved out from Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania. The third one we have not mentioned about Tanzania, which is also neighboring Kenya. Yeah. So we got a chance of moving out from there. The Lester daughter, she was married at that time. She was in Leicester, and the one in Toronto, she also went to Toronto. I was left with Atiya, and we came down here and settled down in Rochdale.
Can you remember when you came to Rochdale?
This is about 8 years ago. Yeah.
What made you choose Rochdale?
She was in Rochdale at that time. Yeah, and she brought us to Rochdale.
How did you feel coming to Rochdale, leaving everything behind?
Yeah, it was very strange, first of all, coming down here, cold all the time, and the time differences, the times, the time is I found very awkward here. There were long times, short times, long nights, short days. But in Kenya, it was the same all the time because the country was on equator. And for example, if Maghrib prayer is at 6:30, it's all the time 6:30. If it's morning time, it's all the fixed time. It is the fixed time, Here it is sometimes 2 hours back or 2 hours. It's very, one gets used to it. Yeah.
And how did you find the difference of the food here? Because the food was so fresh in Africa, and then you came to Rochdale.
Yeah.
How did you find the food?
In Kenya, there are no food shops. Takeaway. There's no takeaway. Here it is all takeaway, and in Kenya, all is cooked and eaten at home. There's no takeaways. Now, vegetable-wise, fruit-wise, that's plenty in Kenya. Not as imported from various countries in England. Here, if you eat a mango, it's been brought from Kenya. If you eat orange, it's been brought here. Avocado is been brought here. So there, you can go out and next door you find the tree and you pluck the thing. And one very interesting thing is Mombasa is a house to coconuts. Tall trees, all over the place, coconuts and mangoes. And when we were in the school, we sometimes used to run away from school and go and pluck these mangoes, and then come back home saying that we have completed the classes, No, yeah.
You saw lots of change happening in Africa.
You
saw lots of things changing in all your life whilst you was there.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, Kenya was a colony, British colony, and the British government had promised the people that they would get land after they win the war. And of course, many people were given land, whereas we Asians were not given any land. My father bought a small plot and we built a house, and then in which we stayed,
What happened to that house in the future?
Yeah, that house, my father sold it, and before he went to Pakistan, he sold the house.
Was the house in Kisumu or Nairobi?
Mombasa.
Mombasa.
There was nothing. I had a house in Nairobi, and which I sold before I came down here. I sold it, and then there's no property of mine in Kenya now. And of course they say that the property, the prices have appreciated 10 times more in Kenya. There's not many Asians left in Kenya.
Uncle Koji, did you see much difference in the people that lived around you once the British had left Africa? Sorry.
Did I find what?
Did you see much difference happening with the people in the area?
Yeah.
Because I remember everybody in the interviews always say that they lived so happily together. But by then, most people were leaving.
When they left, the thing is, there was uncertainty at that time. The Africans were at the bottom. The Asians were in the middle, and the British were on the top, That is how they were. The British taught the other people how to exist. Say port. The port was built by British people. Mm-hmm. No African could have built the port. Railway station. When you went it, you see, yeah. It's big things. Aeroplanes, much more impressive, yeah. But they had to go that setup, At that time they had to give freedom to everyone, They gave freedom to everyone. Uganda is a place where people liked very much, Ugandan people. Some of them have gone back. Some have gone back. They are settled there, but not the Kenyan ones. I haven't heard of Kenya. No, that they have gone back to Eldoret and Kitale. When I used to go to Kisumu, they came on the Nakuru, Kitale and Eldoret. They are on the way, to Kisumu, Yeah, Eldoret and Kitale, my father built mosques there in Eldoret and Kitale, Old people. The British people would not light a cigarette, throw a cigarette out, or throw even the matchstick there in Kenya, saying that here I find this dirt everywhere. Everywhere I see the Coca-Cola bottle, can, everywhere, bread wrapping, everything. It's become so loose a thing, Not in Kenya at that time. In Kenya, when these British people were working, they were so good. They are the teachers, who taught the others what to do. Otherwise, all of them, Asians coming down from those poor Asian countries, at that time, and Africans doesn't had that thing. They all learned from English people. They were so good people, and even them, they were not happy to be sent away, at that time. They had settled down, They had their schools. They had their boys and girls going to schools. Although it was only for British people, no other people would go to their school. But they had. They're good people. You say that mine was the best. I think you had been taking those other ladies, who didn't have much experience, Yeah, Yeah. I can, you know, if I have these people like Tariq, and these odd other people. We speak in Swahili. When we meet, we speak in Swahili, and the other people look around and they say, "What did you say? What did you say?" Yeah.
Where did you learn the Swahili when you was growing up? Was it just through the neighbourhood?
No, dear, the Swahili learning is when you are a child, you are with these other children, you pick up and then you speak.
Yes.
Like English here. Say they are not sent to school, they learn from the street, English. And they are the best ones. Yeah. I have little kids, my grandsons, they come down here. I can't follow them in English. The English is so typical, Yeah. Yeah. Anything more?
If you would like to share anything more, then we are happy to listen.
No, I think it's sufficient now. I finished my life. There's nothing more I can.
Are there any words that you would like the listeners to remember you by, Uncle G? This interview.
I remember.
Is there anything you want the listeners to remember when they listen to this interview?
Yeah, the thing is particularly, I like to mention that the British people were considered as on top because they were the rulers, and Asians were in the middle. They were the workers, and the Africans did not have any room. They did not study. They were working as laborers. So when suddenly they got the independence, they came on the top, and they had no room for other people. The British left. The Asians were disheartened. They did not know of their future. It was so difficult. I'd like to mention to you that if you have to have a driving license, it means that you have to bribe some people. If you open a shop, you want to have a license, you have to bribe. There was bribery everywhere, bribery all the place, from top to bottom.
This must have been very difficult for you.
Yeah, it is. Asians, particularly Asians, that's what they left. That's why they left. Most of these people who had come down here is because of hard times. They come down here. Otherwise, nobody would have liked to come out of that situation or that country. Kenya is beautiful. Kenya is beautiful. It's the climate is very good, and everything is good. It was cheap at that time, but now they were not so sure where to go, so they came down here. Yeah. Where are you? Where is your mother?
My mother is now living in Smallbridge, But she was from Mombasa as
She
well.
is now here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uncle G, tell me, if you had the chance, where would you like to live now?
I don't have the much breath left in me, you know.
There's lots of life left in you, inshallah, Uncle G.
No, I don't have very long time to go. Now I would be allowed to be left like I am now, finished.
You're surrounded with people that love you in Rochdale.
Pardon?
You're surrounded with lots of love in Rochdale.
Of course, yeah, of course.
And Rochdale would miss you if you wasn't here.
Yeah, of course they would.
And inshallah, once COVID is over, you can go back to the masjid where everybody will be very happy to see you again.
That's the thing.
Inshallah.
You know, my idea was to join the masjid and meet people. I had ties with them, you know. I'm missing something. I'm missing a lot. I'm missing because I don't go. I can't walk. I used to go in the bus. Now I can't go to masjid. And time has passed and I have missed them for quite some long time, you know. Let's see what happens. Every day, every night watching the TV, I see so many people have gone. So many people have gone. Thousands and thousands of people. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring. Is that all?
Uncle G, thank you so much for your time.
No.
I wish you all the very best for the future.
Thank you very much, dear.
I know that the listeners are going to really enjoy listening to your story.
Thank you very much, dear. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uncle G.
Yeah, thank you for having come down here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.